Please help me welcome our table topics master this evening, Sherry Holt.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and guests and members. Halloween always takes us back to being a child. Even though there are an awful lot of adults that decide that they want to celebrate Halloween too. Our topics tonight will be related to not necessarily Halloween, but to children. Our first question for the evening is, what was the biggest thing you always got in trouble for when you were a kid? What was the biggest thing you always got in trouble for when you were a kid? Tom.
Madam Topic Master and fellow Toastmasters, I think probably the thing I got in the most trouble for was something I did only once, because I certainly learned my lesson. I lived not too far from my grandparents at the time, my father's parents. And a friend of mine was selling Christmas cards. And later I did the same. I sold Christmas cards in the summer to make a little extra spending money. This was before I was age 14 when I got my first public job, if you will. I did something I should have never done. My friend was getting close to the quota to get the prize, really, that he wanted from selling Christmas cards. So I said, well, let me talk to my grandmother. So I went up to my grandmother's and I talked to her about buying Christmas cards. But I failed to tell my grandmother it was my friend selling Christmas cards, not me. That was not a good thing. I got probably the most severe whipping at the time that I got in my entire life because I told my grandmother a lie. I learned from that it's not a good idea to do that. So I found out I never did that again. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, telling your parents, your grandparents a lie, that'll get you in some serious trouble really, really quick. Our next question, okay? What about your childhood surprises you the most? What about your childhood surprises you the most? Bert.
Well, thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. I think the thing that surprises me about my childhood the most is how much I've forgotten about it. I think this might be a defensive mechanism on my part, but I'm not sure. I know I grew up in a neighborhood that a lot of people on this panel would be happy to grow up in. All my neighbors were girls. It surprises me that I'm a nurse. Who'd have thunk that? I don't know. But because of my eye acting up, I was never that really good in things requiring depth perception, so I didn't play a lot of the sports with everybody else, so I did a lot of reading. Needless to say, I was the bad part of a lot of jokes between all the girls in the neighborhood and all the men or boys that I was acquainted with. However, I think it surprises me the most because at that point, with all the girls in the neighborhood, I've kind of become used to getting married and being and having this. I didn't say that. The hand said that. Madam Table Topics.
Thanks, Bert. That's okay. I grew up in a neighborhood of all boys. So I had to learn how to play football and baseball and wrestle and roll and tumble. And so that definitely made me the tomboy in the family. I understand, though, how you feel about that. Would you rather meet your great grandchildren or great grandparents? Would you rather meet your great grandchildren or your great grandparents? Lee.
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. That's a great question. Which one would I rather meet? Do I have to meet any of them? Could I make a choice not to? Well, since you asked me which, let me think about that for a second. I like kids, and I like my grandparents. But let's just say, if I wanted wisdom, would I take it from my grandparents or would I take it from my grandkids? Mind you, grandkids could be a lot of fun. But understanding kids, they zap my energy. And after all, I bought those grandkids a heck of a lot of things. I spent money on those grandkids. And it would tick me off, piss me off to have to think about how much money that I spent on them after seeing them again. I'm going to say, out of respect for a deeper generation, because I'm riding on their shoulders. The grandkids are riding on my shoulders. So from a wisdom standpoint, I would probably like to see my grandparents, even though I would prefer that they had plastic surgery if I was going to see them again, because I'm not sure with the tattoos and all the things that go along with it, what has happened over that period of time in terms of those lines got larger or smaller, or there's some stretch marks in between, if you know what I mean. I would rather see my grandparents and figure out how did they live to get to where they are, and that's the place I have to go. If that's what I got to do, then I want to talk to them to get some lessons learned. Madam Table Topic Master.
What is your most favorite random act of kindness? What is your most favorite random act of kindness? Rebecca.
My most favorite random act of kindness is one that somebody did for me just a few weeks ago. I was working at the host stand at the Upperland Hotel one night, and I had a guest walk up, and they were just very rude to me, telling me that I didn't know what I was doing, that because this was part of a party of 7. And being part of a party of 7, I would have to save a much larger table for them. And we had about a 30-minute wait at the time. So for about 30 minutes, just for a 4 for a table of 4. Well, this party of 7, I told him it was going to take him 45 minutes before we could seat them. But I went ahead, I asked if I could put them on our wait list, and they said yeah. Shortly after that, we had called in 2 tables of 3 that were sitting nearby. And we went ahead and let them come in because we had tables available for them. She walked back up and said, "You're seating them, why can't you seat us?" Well, another guest had heard me like talking to this lady and about how rude she was being to me. And when they were leaving the restaurant later on, they said, "Thank you, you did such a wonderful job. And we really enjoy how you were able to get us in so quickly and so we could enjoy our meal." So it's just being able to, like, after how I had one lady that was, she actually wrote down my name tag. She knew who I was so she could turn me in and complain about me in particular. And just one other guest that had heard all of this and how she was kind to me and thanked me for how good of a job I did. So that would be my most favorite random act of kindness. Thank you, Madam Tabletop Mixmaster.
Sometimes a kind word or just an expression or a smile can go a long, long way. That can be very impactful. I'll share mine. A favorite random act of kindness that I like to give is generally to an elderly individual that may be out shopping, coming in, going out, going to the restaurant, being able to assist them in an easy manner. It could be holding the door, it could be taking a package, it could even sometimes just even be that small smile that we don't get to see that much now that we are masked up. But the twinkle in your eyes can be just as important to someone else. To interact with them one on one with eye contact. That's my favorite random act of kindness, and I like to share that whenever I can. Always be mindful to let random acts of kindness permeate who you are. Because by doing that, you're shining a great light on the whole world. Madam Toastmaster,